Hi guys, this is Radhika here from My Drop Mom. I'm so happy that we are having this conversation on mental wellness for moms who are working 24/7, and I'm a mom of two. And during this pandemic, I can imagine all the other moms, what you are going through. It is a struggle. Creating a healthy mindset is an investment in your overall well-being. So when I came across Mrs. Ritu Agarwal, who is a mom of two boys, and she is a counseling psychologist who believes that every individual must live wholesome and fulfilling lives at the zenith of their potential. I was very impressed with her, and I'm just going to invite her.
Hi, Radhika.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Very, very well, yeah. Thank you so much. It's so nice to be here today with you.
Oh, thank you, dear. I was looking forward for this conversation with you, because I had a long list, and you will be surprised that so many moms have messaged My Drop Mom regarding, questions on mental wellness. So, I'm happy that women are taking that initiative to make themselves aware about self-care and taking them, keeping themselves first.
That's lovely. In fact, it's really lovely to hear that from you. I'm
Yeah.
excited.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So everyone, Ritu is a counseling psychologist, and Ritu, you have been helping people cope with their challenges and helping them lead better lives. So, before I start with the questions, I would like you to introduce that, how did you start with this journey? Why did you choose a
Okay.
profession like counseling?
So that's awesome. In fact, I would say that, it started all with my own experiences, which made me realize that how important it is to prioritize your own mental health. And in the process, I developed that innate ability maybe to help others. So you can say that, yeah, my passion met my purpose. And to give you a brief, that one was in class 6. So I used to teach him that time, and he just got a 92 in his geography. And I'm like, for 1 hour, I grilled him, like, where did those 8 marks go? That, when I've been teaching you and you were so well prepared. And so everybody in my house, they were like paranoid with me. They're like, what is wrong with this girl? And even I feel like previously I was very much introvert, keeping things within me, holding on to things, holding on to my emotions, anger, and etc. etc. So, which one fine day I just decided to change. I just decided, no, I have to take the action now. And I think then I started studying more, and I started reading about it. I joined several courses to know more about it. And probably that is how I just landed up, yeah, doing my master's also, and here I am today, to help you all. Yeah.
Good for us. We are the lucky ones.
Thank you. Yeah.
What problems do you think moms are facing during this pandemic?
I was just appreciating you for your question, because I feel it's a very, very relevant question. In today's time where everything is from home, it's like work from home, school at home, cook at home, moms also at home.
Right.
Because they can't go out for the kitty parties, and they can't do their you get no appreciation for it. You're just walking like a crazy person throughout your day, and you are nobody's there to appreciate you. So that's a very,
I can
very
imagine.
crucial time. And the mom, yeah.
Okay, so Ritu, my next question to you is that do you have any tips that you would give the working mom who's working 24/7 right now, that how to handle our children better?
Yes, of course. I think for every child, there are three things which really, really matter, which they feel in their heart. First thing is they feel like, am I worthy? Am I seen? And do I matter? So if these three aspects, I think you can fulfill these three aspects, and you can actually make that they are important. So there are a few things which I do in my life, so which I would like to share over here. Is first thing is, when you wake up in the morning, it's very important that you schedule your day. When I talk about scheduling your day, it's not like you make a schedule for your child. It's something like, you sit with your child and you discuss the schedule with
Absolutely.
him or her. Just saying that first thing you should begin your day is with scheduling. Scheduling does not mean that you schedule the day for your child. It's like you probably get the habit of your child scheduling their day along with you. You can just tell them that, yes, these are the things which are important for you to do today, and let them
Absolutely.
schedule their own fun time, play time, study time, and etc. etc. You can make it very creative in the sense that maybe it can be a storytelling way, or it can be a visualization process for them. And second thing, what I feel, suppose I'm just giving you a small example to make it more clear. Like, you have scheduled your day and your child has scheduled his day, and what you do is you are working, but the child is going on nagging, and wanting mama, do this, I can't do this, and etc. etc., which happens with most of us, in the normal course of life. So at that time, I feel, instead of I mean, it's my own personal experience that when you scream and you shout at your child and you say, don't do this, you have told you to work, and etc. etc., blah blah blah, I don't think that helps. And in fact, the child gets even more annoyed at it. So, the best way which you can not discipline, but maybe you can convey to your child is like, if you just put it across that, there's something called a tone, which changes everything, I feel. So if you just express it in the tone, you can just do a padding around you. Okay, fine, I need to react in a certain way. And if you're aware, and you just tell your child, oh, even mama really, really wants to play with you, but we have to finish our work first, and I can't wait to play with you. But right now you are doing an important work, I am doing my important work, so we can connect maybe at lunchtime or whatever, in a better way, that way, and we can have lots of fun. So that gives the child also an excitement factor, that yes, I'm going to it's in 1 hour time, mama is going to be with me. And still sometimes your child is nagging and is crying and is whining, and you are like, oh my god, now what? So one thing which I really want to communicate is that let the child feel their emotions. It is very, very important. If you reinforce at that point of time, in the sense that if you give in to the tantrums which they show during that time, it's like you're kind of reinforcing to them that yes, this is allowed, and this only will increase their habit of doing the same thing, so it's not very healthy. And also you can give minor rewards to your child when they behave well, like maybe a hug, or more time, maybe that half an hour extra time, which they demand when they really need it. So that will also the child will behave well, knowing that yes, I'm going to get it, that mama is going to spend good time with me if I do my work well. So that is again very important.
I completely, I completely agree with you. I myself, every morning with my elder one, I sit down and both of us, we chalk out the routine, that what we are doing, which time we are spending with each other, and which is the fun time for us when we are going to, cook together or do some activity together or read books together. You are absolutely correct, and it does make a difference, and the kids are not cranky and they are not demanding for, my attention, because they know mom is working
all the time.
But there's a specific time when mom is there for them completely.
Absolutely. It's very important to make this absolutely clear. It balances your day and balances your mind as well.
So one of Sakshi is asking,
you can
it does vary. The 2-year-old or a 3-year-old and explain that, okay, mom has to work. They are going to mom, leave the work. I'm important.
I think, 2 and 3, at the age of 2 and 3, they start understanding we underestimate them, that they cannot. I'm not telling you to sit with a paper and make a schedule. But yes, you can do storytelling time with them, in the sense like, you can just create a whole story of your day. Like, this is what is happening during the day, and we're going to have some very good time, and this and that. This time, mama needs to work a little bit, and it's very, very important, because otherwise, you can just talk, in her language to her. that really helps. And also I would say that yes, if your child is whining or crying or throwing in tantrums, in spite of that, you have to learn to let that child live their emotions, also feel their emotions from day one. If I'm angry, they need to understand that that doesn't mean that I am angry. It's like there's a difference. I'm feeling angry and it will go away. So, if you communicate, it is always better. So, and I think repetition becomes a habit. So, the more you repeat it, I think,
It does.
in fact, there are many researches which has proven that it takes 40 to create a new habit and 66 days to unlearn an old habit and to live again. I mean, to create a new one. So we have to give time. It doesn't happen at once. Yeah.
I agree. I completely agree. So Ritu, my next question to you is: do you think multitasking takes a toll on moms, especially?
Of course, I mean, I think in the current scenario, it's totally multitasking for all the mothers. And I think, but again, it depends on the mindset of the person. Like if you have clarity, then it will not take a toll on your head. In the sense, if you prioritize your day, you know your priorities, that this is what I have to do and this is what I cannot do today. So if your mind is very clear, it sets it all for you. And I would also, follow the VCA principle, which is like, visualize your day, communicate to the people involved assertively, and adjust.
So, Ritu, a viewer, she asked us that is mental health genetic? Is mental health genetic?
Yes, there has been a lot of research going on in this, and a few mental disorders, you can say, is genetic. Is genetic in the sense there are high chances that if your parents or your grandparents have it, you will also get it. But again, your environment plays a massive role over here. Because if it is not reinforced and if you are brought up healthy, it just your genes might still stay and you may not develop that disorder. So both genes and environment plays a massive role over here. Yes.
Right. Ritu, one of our viewers, she asked us that, I'm going to ask her question last, May. Is there still a taboo of not seeing a psychologist? Do you think women still hesitate? Even you are a woman, but do you have ever, you feel that, women hesitate and they are like, I don't want to go to a psychologist?
Yes. I think in India, yes, I would say that there is a stigma as to, and you don't really acknowledge that, yes, I am having a mental problem. It's a very big stigma. I mean, people do a lot for their physical health, but they don't take care of their mental health in the right time. Because mental health is something, if you can take care of it in the right time, it will not lead to a mental disorder.
What are the first signs, anyone should notice if someone is going through mental stress? What should someone observe in, oneself, or maybe in the partner, or maybe in kids? What should be the first signs that anybody should observe for the mental stress?
Okay. So I feel that, everybody has in a day-to-day life, and everybody has these moments where things don't go according to you and you are sad and you are feel frustrated. But yes, if that continues and there is a pattern, which is repetitive in your life, you can feel that there's a repetition going on, and at the same time it is making you feel extremely sad and you're not wanting to do the things which you like doing, or I mean, it's affecting your relationships and it's affecting your family life, and more so it is affecting you as a whole, So then it's a sign of warning that yes, you need help. And theoretically also there are various signs, like you feel sad all the time, you're confused, then you're not being able to concentrate, or you're not being able to sleep well, and there's a lot of fear inside you, there's a lot of guilt inside you, then you have extreme mood swings, extreme tiredness, but disordered eating habits. But again, this is like, it has to be not for a day or two. If it is just for a day or two and then you can handle it,
Right.
then I would say that it's not a mental disorder, mental illness, you can say. But
Okay.
yes, it's the way you think, you feel, and you behave. If you feel that yes, things are changing, and I'm not the same person, or then it's a
Absolutely.
matter of I would say that concern. Yeah, you have to consult.
So then, how do you deal with this? How do you deal with a situation like this and, nurture positivity?
I think the first thing is to the first thing is to understand and to feel your emotions, as in you have to understand that yes, this emotions, what you're feeling is valid or not. And then once you start the process, it's like you need to decide that yes, I need to change it now, or I need to act upon it immediately to do something about it. I think, as I already said, it's a repetition, which it's not easy for me. If that is why where a role of a counselor or a help comes in, because you need to develop this habit continuously of training your mind and training yourself to act a certain way. So if you can do that on your own, it's very good. But generally what happens is like we do it for 4, 5, 6 days, and again we are so bored of it and we feel frustrated because things are not working out. We give up. Then things will start working and you will benefit. And there are various things which you can do, like exercise and daily, and there are various other tips for the children which are given, but there are other also things which moms should include in their daily lives which give them happiness. Reward yourself, I feel, when you've done the whole day work share or whatever, then I feel it's very important for mothers to give in that reward to yourself, that yes, now I deserve half an hour of Netflix or anything to eat, whatever is your favorite thing.
Right.
So once you keep on appreciating your own self and your own life, it becomes much more easier. Day-to-day frustrations, I mean, it's no point beating yourself up. It's okay. It's like, the thing is like, you need to understand that I need not be perfect. I'm okay the way I am. I love myself. So the minute that self-love starts coming within yourself.
Ritu, someone just asked that, what is the difference? How do you figure out unhappy or that person has a mental disorder? How do you figure out between that thin line between unhappy and a mental disorder?
So I think, I've already shared it. If that unhappiness remains with you for a few hours,
Ritu,
it's fine, because it's a feeling, it's an emotion. Ritu? Yeah. Yeah, you are audible.
Okay.
I can hear you. Yeah. So yes, there is a thin line, but once you start living your emotions correctly, I mean, once you start feeling your emotions. So if you are unhappy, that unhappiness is temporary, and you know that tomorrow you'll be fine, so then that doesn't create a mental disorder. Again, that is not a mental disorder. But if that unhappiness becomes a pattern and a cycle for you, where it's going on and on, day after day, you are just repeating the whole thing and you're frustrated entire time, and you're not being able to function properly, it's affecting everything around you, then it really needs to be corrected at that moment. That means this is the first sign that yes, you need help.
Matters.
Yeah.
Correct. Ritu, my question to you is that, do you think mental health is occurring in children as well, and how do you detect that, and from what age?
So yes, the percentage, as per the research, percentage of mental disorder within children is definitely growing nowadays. This is a very vast topic, I think, which we can which needs another half an hour or 1 hour of discussion. So maybe we can take it up some other time. But I would just, to brief you all, I would just say that that there is a developmental task or a developmental stage which a child goes through, in life, like 4 years and then 4 to 6 years. So and you know about it. So if there is significant delay in that developmental process, maybe the social skills, or maybe the motor activity, or there may be some emotional skills which a child needs to develop. So when you see
Right.
that, okay, this is not sufficient in my child, then there's a sign of maybe, a warning
Right.
that yes, I think you need to show to your pediatrician and to consult a doctor.
Ritu, nowadays, counseling and psychotherapy is a big stigma in India, especially. And we go there only when there are extreme cases. Moms must be holding themselves back and not asking for help. So, what particular message that would you like to give to those moms who are in need of help, but they do not want to, they don't want to come forward, or they are feeling shy, or they are scared that what people will think, what their families will think, what their friends will think. What message would you give to them?
Yes, I think the message which I would like to give is counseling is cool. So don't go by the thing that, oh my God, I'm having a mental disorder or something like that. It is just a way of being which will make you a better individual, and it will help you cope with your daily problems. So counseling is cool, and it has really benefited me. At just a drop of a hat, you visit a doctor, and you're spending so much of money on your gymming and etc. But if you take care of your mental health as well,
Correct.
it will be do really good to you.
Ritu, do you have any workshops coming up if anybody would like to join?
Oh yes, next Saturday itself I'm doing an anger management workshop, which is like very, very informative, and it's has no charges as well. Yeah. So I think anger management is a very important subject or topic which everybody wants to handle. Yeah. So it's just coming
Yes.
up next Saturday. Yes. It's just a 1 hour workshop. So do enroll for it. It'll be very informative.
Wow, that's excellent.
Thank
Ritu,
you.
this has been a very enlightening and enriching experience. I hope, this conversation has helped our viewers to realize that mental is a priority. And for women, especially, that we need to put ourselves first, and we need to uplift and help each other instead of tearing each other down. So,
Absolutely.
we are
Yes.
learning a lot of, at least I have learned a lot of things, from this conversation with you.
Thank you, Radhika. In fact, I can make out that you're a great mom, looking at all your posts and the quality time you spend with your child. I love it. All the best to you for the great work you're doing.
Oh, same to you. It's just like self-care is how you take your power back, and mental wellness basically helps to rewire your brain. So, if Ritu, anybody wants to talk to you, can you just post details?
Yes, I will definitely be posting it in my Instagram page. Please follow, please like, and you can also, I'll be just sharing it with you as well.
So, Ritu, thank you so much. Absolutely, absolutely. I'm more than happy, to spread awareness of mental health, because I think it is very, very important and positive.
Absolutely. Yes, definitely. Thank you so much. It's a big pleasure being here today.
Thank you
with
so much for these amazing tips,
Thank you
Ritu.
so much, Radhika.